What drives my ideas about fundraising? Um, the first thing I try to think of is our why. Why are we choosing to campaign? Why are we asking people to come and help us? That's important because I believe that when we define our why, it helps us better determine our end goals. And when I speak of end goals, I'm not speaking solely about the dollars that we're raising. I'm speaking more about an impact. And impact for me means an experience that is producing positive and fruitful and lasting results. You know, I can say, luckily for me, I have very many days that I can consider favorite days on the job. And I don't know if many people can say that, but I know I can. But the one that probably comes to mind immediately would probably be based on the one event we did in May. We had been doing mobile distributions throughout the city and across the North Carolina line for about the past year. And we did one in May, which was supposed to be our last one. And for me, I was not so much overwhelmed by the amount of recipients that were coming through. The line was full and it remained full because it was a drive-through distribution, drive-through walk-through distribution. And it wasn't, I never celebrate the fact that there are people in the line. I always celebrate the fact that we have the goods that can meet the need for those that are coming through the line. But for me that day, I took a moment. We were in this huge parking lot and I stopped and I scanned the parking lot and I saw people from various denominations, many races, cultures, and ages. And they were working hand in hand, and there was this camaraderie and this fellowship that had just developed out of just them being in the same place at the same time, but more importantly, working for and on the same cause. I think one of the things that I have found with the volunteers is that there is this heart that people have for others. Now, not everybody does, but when you find that one and you tap into that passion and you find that you have a shared passion for helping and for service, that is when I found throughout the year of our mobile distributions, that grew, the volunteerism grew, and it grew by word of mouth, and it grew because other people were finding out there's an opportunity for me to do something that I want to do anyway. And so philanthropy for me grew because not only were people coming out from a physical standpoint to help us with the labor and the service, but they were saying, hey, we'd like to lend to buy a pallet of food, which is what we needed anyway. We'd like to give you a donation to help with whatever, use it for the operations of what you're doing. So yes, the philanthropy grew because people found that there was something that was meaningful and something that they shared in the passion for, and that is what drew them over. First of all, I would say that if you are still functioning and operating as a nonprofit in a COVID-19 time, first I'll say congratulations to you. Pat yourself on the back, you deserve it. But I would say, of course, and I know we're all lamenting this, that COVID was immediate and unprecedented. And it forced us to change either completely how we operate, it forced us to alter how we operate, but more importantly, it forced us to reimagine how we operate in a new day and time. And not only did we have to reimagine, we had to become more creative and innovative, and we had to stretch ourselves beyond ways we even thought we'd be able to. So of course, we had to reimagine ourselves and our vision. And so my advice would be to play on that strength, that very strength that you didn't know you had, that creativity, that innovative mind that you have. Play on the strength of that, and then use that to engage your donors, use that to engage your stakeholders, and use that to help allow them, or encourage them at least, to come alongside, not just to give, but to help co-create. So now we're looking at you coming along and we're meeting the mission of your foundation, but we're also meeting the mission of our organization. And we're creating a solution that we know is going to better support the interests of the community or directly to the people, but it will overall affect the fabric of the community. And that's what my advice to fellow fundraisers would be. And one of the things we determined is that there's a way to help, we've just got to figure it out. So previously to coming up with the idea of trying to campaign for a truck, we just made phone calls. Do you know someone with a pickup truck? Do you know someone that would be willing to allow us to use their truck? And we just put it all together, and we called people together, and we packaged boxes of food, and we took that food and we loaded up pickup trucks, and we went to the locales of those rural areas, and we just parked and said, come, if you want, just come through, we'll load you up. And we did that. We did that long before there were foundation dollars that were in support of that, until someone says, you have something going here, you should, kind of pursue this a little more. And we did, and it matured and it graduated to where we are today with an actual mobile distribution program. So I'm very excited, very grateful, I'm very thankful about where that has come, and I'm grateful about where that's going, because that's going to continue to grow.